welcome to Ken's Hobbies. My name's Ken. We're going to continue the final phase here. In this phase, I'll show you this. Although you've seen in prior video, but I'll refresh those who haven't seen my other video. We start here. The first stage is fire taping pieces that we put back in. The second stage then will be, after it dries, I'll be coming back to it, putting the second coat in, and the final stage will be sealing it with the primer paint, and the last stage will be putting the cabinet here back up and back into place. So we're going to begin with tape. So you get your mud. Begin with your mud. Basically give yourself a little bit of a squeeze, because in the corners you like to angle it, wipe any excess off like so. This is the reason right here why I have not put get in there. Why I haven't put the cover on yet on the box, for this very reason. Make sure all your screws you put in are covered. Get our tape, and we start with the top one here. Measure it out. And you take your knife, hold it in place, the balance off. And now you take one pressure and give it a sweep. Your excess back in. And get to the corner like this. Reverse your knife. That's one. Here we can just do partial. Don't worry about the box at this point. Same thing. A little shy right here in the corner, so just take a little extra mud. You slide it underneath and finish it off. A little piece that you don't want in the mud. Alexis, we'll put it there. Now, if you remember in the last video, you saw me lower this cabinet another 2 inches. That's what I meant when I said you should have gone 2 inches lower. This is the reason why. Get back on there. Wipe any excess off. Here. That's that. And now for the end piece. Down there. Yes, we'll just move it to there. Okay. piece. That's on there. Shy right there, so we'll doctor it up a bit. Okay, that stage is done. Now we let that dry overnight and come back the next day to this. Now you got very, very, very little sanding to do. You just take, basically when it comes to the sanding now, in the next stage, all you have is a slight little, basically all you're doing is knocking the high spots off. And I just see one screw that I missed. So we'll quickly get that.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Okay, it's the next day. I'm just going to show you what I mean by knockdown. I have these sanding blocks, and these are very unique kind of threads, so you can get in corners here very good, and you don't get a sharp cut there. So we just basically, you just go over and you feel for high spots, like in this corner here. And this is the advantage about in the corner here. There's a high spot right there. You just hit the corner like that. The high spot right there. High spot right there. And a little bit of a hump right here. And check it out. And we can get around it. And a high spot right here. On the ceiling, so we'll take care of that. And that's it. Now, if you remember what I was saying about the tape, and now's the time where you can take your knife out, and you can cover around the box, cut this piece of extra hip you left behind off. Just like so. Done. Okay, now want a thin layer of mud on top of that, which is called our first coating. I'm going to get my mud tray out for this task. Okay, got my mud tray out here, and you water it down, thin it down a little bit thinner to what it originally was for this first application. And you just mix it up like so. I always keep this going. One of the secrets that was taught to me when I was doing a lot of drywalling. Okay, we're going to start with the corner here, and we'll just run a thin layer now over on top of this all. turn it over like this on a mud tray. We don't need that much here. We kind of, it's much like body work on a car. We've got a little artwork in here. You know, a little bit of artistic work here, but you get it nice and smooth. That pretty well takes care of this side. See spot here on this. Take care of that. You do have corner knives. I've learned a couple of tricks here that I can get away with. For this little bit is just squeeze it to the corner like that and work away from it. Tab right here in the bottom corner here. Should have gone a little lower with this cabinet. Okay, now this end piece here. Oh, that's way too much. Perfect. Remember, we had this high spot right there. We'll get a fair amount in here, and you'll see why I'm taking a big portion like this in a minute here. We get our 10-inch knife now. And here, this is the reason why you see me put a fair amount in. Now I can take my 10-inch and a couple of sweeps. That takes care of that. Now we wipe any excess off. And we let that dry, and then we can sand that out and look for any pinholes or anything like that. Ooh, I better touch this corner up. There we are. So okay, so that takes care of your first layer of very little sanding, but now you got your shape. Well, it's been a couple of days since I did the mudding. Wasn't feeling the best, so that's why I got delayed here for a couple of days. I'm ready to begin with various types of available tools for sanding, and a couple of tricks that I'll show you. Also, I'm trying to think of where to begin here. Okay, some use, this is called the sanding block. I'm just looking for the square box to show you the other type of sanding block here. This is about a 125 grit, and in the process I got this special tool here for when you're taping. It's nothing to do with sanding, but like I said, I was looking for the square type block here when I found this. This is your tool for trowel or knife for corner, and also you got an adjustment here so you can vary for different styles. If you could lock it there and do your corner angle like that, for example. So I just quickly thought I'd show it to you. Anyway, for hand sanding, we have three types here. This is your basic hand sand, and I have two other sanding pads. This one here is made out of aluminum. This one here is made out of plastic. Both of them do the same job, but I prefer this one over that one. normally use one anywhere from a 120 to a 180, but it can go up to a 240 grit here. You can get either strips like this for your sanding blocks, or you can get sheet, or you can just, the sheet would look something like this, and you just cut 3 sections out of it, and it's gray in color. So this is a super fine, this 220, but good enough for what I'll be doing here. Now, with this type of sanding block, you can put your extension pole on that, so you have, if you're doing a ceiling, you're not killing your arm because you're going like this. And this is all you need to do. Same thing here. Now the big thing with sanding is you want to just basically flush it up at the end. You want to just basically get your sides. And if you remember, you do your mudding right, there's very little sanding to do here. And here's the advantage of your block here. You got an electrical box like that. See how you can get around it quite easily. So normally you'd also have a light, so you'd have your light shining on here. In this case, I'm not going to worry so much about this, so I better raise the camera here and change it just a little bit, because we're more in the corner here. And I forgot about that. Lock it down. You can also feel it pretty much where the hard spot is, like right there. And you just move it of a circle, and it's out. For the corner, you just turn your device. Now this is where the advantage of the hand one comes in. As you see, that's a little tricky there, so you can use your hand sander if you prefer. And you see a little further, we just took it out. And this is what I mean by it's basically blending in to your pressing. You're not sanding all the mud that you just put in out. Now I'm just running my hand here, feeling for any spots. We have one right there. If you had a light, you can feel it all right in there, and you'd see it even better. In this case, I don't have a light, so I'm just going to feel it out. Here we got one. I can feel one little low spot here. So you just touch that up with a spot of mud, because our paper's beginning to show here. You don't want to sand into the paper, so always use a pencil. Pencil here and mark it. Use a spot there, and just put a little there, and you put 1X on there. So you know you got, there's a spot that needs to be touched up. We have another spot right there. Once I finish this, then we get the primer on, seal it all. Okay, got my thin coat there, let it dry. Took my old primer paint out. I just used a paintbrush rather than, for this little square here, didn't want to get a roller out, so I just brushed it. But it's all primed, sealed. Now for phase 5, or final stage. Coming back up in place, but before that, get the old vacuum cleaner out here, and we're going to clean the top here. I'll catch you in a few here.
Much later.
Okay, back. As I mentioned, the final phase number 5, in this cabin. We want to get screws in there. So we're going to begin with my little square out. Got my pencil. We know that the stud was here, and we know there was a stud here. Now to pinpoint that stud down. You hear the hollow there? Then you can put your finger on it and you can feel. You're not sure where the stud is. There. Mark this here. And we're going to test it. We're going to take a little drywall screw and we're going to test it ahead of time. And we're just on the edge of it. We'll come over. Which way do we come over? Let's go half an inch this way. Okay, now that we have our first one, we've got our square here. We're going to draw lines approximately like that. Now, the studs are supposed to be every 16 inches apart. So with that, we can see there's our next stud right there. Remember, right, when we've seen this box, we see that it's screwed right there. So we know that the stud is right there. I'm going to verify that once again. Oh, by the way, I finally found my Ryobi screw gun. It's right on the course. Same thing. And you'll see why in a few minutes why I draw the lines like this. So we find that we are 15¼ inch center. So let's go 15¼ here again, which puts our next one here. And as you can see, they are not exact. So our 16-inch mark is there. And that's what it's supposed to be. So our next 16 mark is here. There we're off again. So shall we try our 15 mark? Okay, as you can see, they are not all exactly at 16 center. Okay, we'll get those screws out and we're ready to go up. Slowly, you go up slowly, little by little with each. Check where we're at. We've got quite a ways to go yet. Okay, now here's the reason for drawing our lines. Now we know where to put our screws. So we'll get our first one there. Next screw. That's why this side was heavier. Never emptied it. Okay, now we can release our... I took and I modified these a little bit. At the base here, I put this old squeezer here, and I put this plate on here to give it a little better balance so it wouldn't tip over. On these lifters. Get this second one out. Okay, the last thing is to put our cover on for the junction box. And I gotta find the screws. I don't know where the heck I put them right now. There you have it. That completes this project. So thank you for watching, and do have yourselves a very Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year. Adios.